And we should be live. There we go. We should be live on the Church Media Guys YouTube channel. And we are. I love it. I love that you can just stream to restream and then just turn on the channels one at a time so I know where everything is going. So let's go live on Ecamm and let's go live to Church Training Academy Facebook page. So now we are live to 4 places. And you know what? YouTube, if you misbehave, I'm going to turn you off and we'll just stream to Facebook and vice versa. All right, we are live on the Facebooks. With me on today's pre-show, it's Mr. Kevin Kobe. Kevin, say hello. You're on camera.
Hello, I'm on camera.
Oh, great.
I
Man,
I
had one shot to make you say whatever I wanted, and oh man, I missed it.
Too bad you didn't go for Justin is the greatest.
Justin is the greatest. I hear that all the time from my wife and daughter, so you're good. We got Kevin here today. This is just the pre-show. Dave is not here. He is out on assignment, and it will be me and a last-minute addition here, Kevin, our good friend. We'll talk a little bit about how we met, but for right now, I'm just going to make sure all the audio levels are good and that we are set up here for the show. Actually, it's actually pretty easy to set up because it's the same setup every week. I just open up Ecamm, and I know that I have me, I have the guest, I have my share screen, and I have the banner and the blackout. That's pretty much all I do, and then just the typical lower thirds, which is always there. So you can see you're watching the pre-show right here. That's just always there because Ecamm makes it that easy. Kevin, really appreciate you. Tell us where in the are you in the fire area of the country? Are you in the wet area of the country, the wet and windy area? Where are you at?
I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
And,
okay.
Right now it's I started to say unseasonably cool, but I sound like a meteorologist. It's nice today. It's blue skies. We're getting some rain here, but it's gorgeous. No fires, no rain yet. A couple of days ago, it was like just sticky humidity. I had an afro 5 minutes after I stepped out, which is just.
That's Houston. That's why I cut my hair short because it's Houston. That's what's happening here. We thankfully are avoiding the hurricane. What's up?
That's
we
good.
Got the Nerdy Pastor on YouTube, one of our newest rabid fans. We got Mandito. Hello, brothers. Hello, Mandito. And we've got on Ecamm, we've got Word Gets Around.
I like that.
This place with a flag. I'm sorry, I went to public school. I don't know my flags. I can't tell what flag that is, but welcome.
I went to public school. I don't know my flags.
We didn't do flag. I know the American flag and I know the Texas flag. That's all we got to know to pass school in Texas. Yeah.
And there's the blue flag when a comment's flagged. That's the new version of learning, I think. When you flag a comment.
Yeah. I flagged one this morning. So Justin,
I didn't want to bring this up, but your new hairdo is very close to like a mullet, and I can say that because I used to rock a mullet way past anybody should.
Are you sure you're not seeing the chair behind me? Maybe like
no,
it looks.
It's kind of got that.
It's got a flip. It's got a flip. And I was always unsure about this haircut. I've had it since high school. Until Alec Baldwin wore it for a few seasons on 30 Rock. And I was like, that's the man. Like, Alec Baldwin is who I want to look like when I'm his age. And if he's pulling this hair off, I'm going to have this hair. Like, it's just this, like, kind of a messy front and then a flip at the front. That. I call that the Nava. They used to call it the Nava ledge in my first church. It used to be a little bit more ledgy, but... I got it cut last week and it's finally grown. Like, this is the time I needed to be doing all my videos and pictures because it looks perfect, just like it is right here.
Yeah, my mullet was amazing. I had a 3-way part anytime it was very windy. It was cool. It'd come forward. It was like a chia pet embedded in my head, and then the side wings, and it was. Well,
they say the mohawk is party or business in the front, party in the back. But Kevin, you got rid of all the business. You're all party. Kevin is party
doing the grooming
all
on that
the
one.
time.
Yeah. Like, wow, when did my bangs get so short?
Yeah, I am. My wife and family say, "Oh, you're like people don't know. You can't tell by looking at me, especially on camera. But I'm half Mexican, and all the dudes in my family have their hair until death. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm not even gonna knock on wood because I don't believe in jinxes. But I will have this hair until I die. So I'm gonna make the most of it. and this is the style I like.
There
My
you
wife wants me to try something new, but I like this. It's my brand. I got a profile of it. I like
You
it.
look
It's my
great.
logo. In fact, sometimes
Look,
when I go to new hair shops, I'll just show them my logo and I'll be like, hey, this is what I like.
do this. Yeah.
Do this. That's great. All right, cool. We'll give everyone just a few minutes here. I forgot, since I'm running the show, I need to send the email. So let me send an email to our list that we are live now. And I'm really excited for today. Let us know where you're watching from. We got a few people watching, haven't commented yet. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're going to talk about live streaming, but not your church services, because believe it or not, Kevin, do you believe it or not? But Kevin, you tell us if you believe it or not.
Okay.
We're actually seeing in the people that we audit and the followers and in our own churches, we're seeing more views on midweek live streams that are not worship service. We see more views on those than we do Sunday morning worship services.
I actually believe that.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Would you believe?
I can see that. I can see that.
Would you believe that when I said there's more engagement in those midweek live streams than worship services?
That doesn't surprise me. It really
Doesn't surprise you. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Jasper in the Ecamm comments, we'll say this and then we'll go ahead and go live. When I say go live, we are live, but we'll start the show. Jasper on the Ecamm comments said, I sent you guys the Ecamm a link. Proclaim has a new upgrade with virtual screens. There might be a way for Ecamm to bring in the screen from Proclaim a little bit easier. Proclaim is a presentation software, what we use for lyrics, showing lyrics on stage. And if we can bring that into Ecamm even easier, that's a win for everybody. So last week we talked about how to bring ProPresenter into Ecamm. Proclaim looks like they may be able to do just as easily there. All right, are we good to start? Kevin, you good? You comfortable?
I'm ready.
You comfy?
I'm ready.
Are we ready to start the show? People watching on the Church Media Hacks channel, say hello. We've got quite a few viewers there, and I've only heard from Nerdy Pastor and Mandito. So come say hello. Come say hello. Oh, let me pull up my comments because I don't have comments on.
They're probably trying to figure out
Facebook.
what filter Dave has on to look like Willie Nelson. It's the Willie Nelson filter that he's hasn't used.
Or what he's smoking to look like. That's in the pre-show. We're going to cut that out.
Yeah, I'll never make it.
All right, let me pull up my comments here. Okay, yeah, we got lots of talk on Facebook. Oh, no, it's actually, okay, cool. So now that we're using YouTube events, so we're doing kind of a test. We did YouTube event on Ecamm, because that's what Katie said, and we bow and do whatever the almighty Katie tells us to do for Ecamm. But on the Church Media guys, we are still just doing straight go live, which is going to turn off at the end of the month. The great thing is I'm using Restream, so I'm broadcasting from Ecamm to Restream, and then Restream is syndicating it to the 4 channels, the 2 Facebooks, the 3 Facebooks and the 2 YouTubes, which is 5 channels. I am now getting YouTube comments appearing in my Ecamm comment stream, whereas I'm not getting it from the Church Media Guys channel because we went go live. So it looks like if you're using Restream, use YouTube events. That's going to get the comments back into your Ecamm. So instead of having all these windows, you notice I'm reading the Ecamm comments on my phone because typically they don't work there. It looks like they are now appearing in my Ecamm stuff. So that's really cool. So we are one step closer to getting a total unified comment stream in Ecamm using YouTube events. Yeah, that's awesome. And I love it too that Ecamm will actually show me where the comment's coming from. So I can see Word and Jasper are commenting from YouTube, and I can see that Dr. Terry and Paulina are commenting on Facebook. I think that's awesome. Yes, YouTube events for the win. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Pull up my notes here. Take off the pre-show. So I'll introduce you, Kevin, and then we'll go into some info about Ecamm, and then we'll get started.
Excellent.
Who sang the song 8 Days a Week? 8 Days a Week.
Beatles.
Was that the Beatles? Okay, I just want to make sure. Maybe I won't put that in the intro. There are 7 days a week. that we can be reaching people for our church. We can do live streams on Sundays, but then why wait a whole nother week to live stream and communicate and engage with our community and serve our people and spread the word, preach the truth? We're talking about that today. What does it look like to live stream beyond worship service? And surprise, surprise, the data actually shows that more people watch those midweek streams than worship streams. We're going to talk about that today. My name is Justin Nava, bringing to you the Stream Your Church show, brought to you by the Church Media Guy, sponsored by Ecamm Live. We are here to show you how to use technology to amplify your message and go change lives. Today, Dave Curley is normally with us, but today I have the fabulous Kevin Kobe. Kevin, say hello to the Stream Your Church fam.
What's happening there, folks?
Kevin, you and I met at the Video Marketing World Conference, and that was the highlight. I don't even remember anything that was talking about, but all I remember is you and I having lunch at the table of other Christians that we kind of stumbled upon, which was just the greatest thing. And our post-conference just hanging out till midnight in the lobby, talking, chatting, encouraging each other. I don't remember the speakers, but you were the highlight of my weekend, and I'm very glad that we met. So I'm glad to bring you on the show. A little bit of an Ecamm collab, too, because you have your own Ecamm show, right?
I do, and I appreciate that. I enjoyed that as well. I'll make sure I get the check to you for saying that. Update your address. But no, that, and it kind of talks to the whole difference between the Rob Balasabas that I know we both know was just asking in his Facebook group about what folks feel about, virtual summits. And it's like, they're great, but high fives and virtual high fives and virtual hugs only go so far. So,
yeah, and there's not really a lobby that you can just like chat and then pull a bunch of couches together, and then Owen Video shows up, and you're just like, okay, we're not going until he goes, right?
yeah. But I do a live show every other Friday. So this Friday I'll be on. I do it with Ecamm Live, so it's multicast on their channel and my channel, called Behind the Live, and it's kind of a look at helping people get into live. Maybe they've done a little of it. It's kind of more beginner up based. We don't get very, very techie because I can't. But this week we're talking about camera position and how to best look on camera and things like that. So that's at 1 o'clock Eastern on Ecamm Live and my channel, which is Kevin Colby.
Absolutely. And speaking of your channel, something that you encouraged me to do, you talked about custom graphics in your live stream and how easy it can be. So let me use this one to remind you to subscribe wherever you're watching. Kevin, you can't see it, but there's a nice remember to subscribe graphic that just popped up. Remember to subscribe wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the like button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. Ecamm is putting out a ton of content, and Church Media Guys is putting out church-specific content to help you, again, use technology, amplify the gospel, and change lives. Remember to, I'll say it again. Remember to subscribe. Hey, Kevin, today's show, we like to tell people, is brought to you by Ecamm. Ecamm for me is a game changer. I don't like to think about a lot of things. I like to think about just a couple things, and I want to think about the people we're streaming to. I want to think about the content of the stream. I don't want to think about making it work, right? It's kind of like going to a restaurant. I want a meal given to me, and I want to pick the meal. I want to maybe customize it, but I don't care how you cook it as long as it's cooked well and it tastes delicious. And Ecamm is that chef that just puts all the ingredients together to where I can say, I want this graphic, I want this text, I want this windowing, just hey, get me and Kevin on the screen, and then just Kevin, and then just me. Ecamm Live will do that. Go to getecamm.com. The greatest live stream chef you could ask for. And not only that, like any great chef, they are honing their skills. They're shopping for new ingredients, getting the fresh stuff. We've got interview stuff coming out. We've got new features. Just about every few weeks when I open up Ecamm Live, there's an update with new features, new exciting things that I get to try and can't wait to try. So if you want to try it for yourself, for your church, I live stream pretty much exclusively when I'm running the show. I use Ecamm Live, but you can also use it for your church. We used it for my church. We ran worship services with it. It's really, really, really easy to use. So go to getecamm.com and get your 14-day trial. It's no credit card, no risk. It's just super simple, super easy to go. Getecamm.com. Let me get that off the screen. Kevin, today we're talking about live streaming beyond the church service. And we talked a little bit before the show, and I threw this out there. In my own data, as I audit church live streams, we do that as part of church media, guys. We look at their social media, we look at all their live streams. Surprise, surprise, when the pastor goes live from his desk using an office light that's going right above him, casting harsh shadows, using the built-in microphone, those streams get more viewers than the worship service with the $40,000 light setup, the $2,000 camera in the back with the $1,000 zoom lens, and we're running whatever software. Like, you can get maybe 7 or 10 or 20 views on the Sunday stream, but then when the pastor sits down in that office with no professional setup and goes live just to share a message about what a small group is doing, 40, 50, 100 people get to watch it and comment and engage with that. Does that surprise you at all?
I'll be honest. No, it doesn't. I had the honor and pleasure of for most of this year working with the church we go to, create some videos and things like that. And when when everything went online, we shifted to the online services and stuff like that. And I think it was that struggle of we've got to make it look amazing, and it's like, okay, but what's the message? And so and I kept trying to get the lead pastor. He's like, I need to start going live more during the week. And I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, you got an iPhone, just pop in there, do some messages and do stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't surprise me because it kind of runs, I think, counterintuitive to what probably still a lot of churches think. It's like, well, I've got that Sunday service. What else do I need? Well,
yeah, ton of content. It's our gathering, and even if we do it remotely, we expect people to be there. People expect this XYZ from a pastor. We expect worship. We expect a 3-point sermon. We expect an altar call or whatever that might be online. But when you think about it, in the middle of the week, you have a direct connection with your congregation every day of the week. Okay? You don't have to, what I call, put all your chips in Sunday's basket. You don't have to do that. Just like the only time I can hear from my pastor is not Sunday. I can, if it's a larger church, I may have to schedule, but I can schedule some counseling with the pastor, maybe have lunch with the pastor, invite the pastor over for dinner. There might be a midweek prayer service where I can go pray with the pastor. There's a lot of ways that we can connect and receive truth from the pastor. And to go a step further, depending on your beliefs, you may also have small groups, laymen, lay leaders that can teach Sunday school, teach Bible study, teach a small group, or just do it like a men's prayer breakfast that the pastor doesn't even have to go to. But people are there praying for each other or teaching each other. And that's another way that we can be fed throughout the week that isn't just on Sunday. So why do we limit that to just the physical world? Why don't we have a church that not only live streams Sunday morning worship, because that is important, that is where a bulk of our message is, that is even remotely where we can gather in fellowship, but we have these other methods to reach out to people throughout the week in the physical world. Why not bring it over into the digital world? And just like you have different venues in your church, you have the large auditorium, you have the small group rooms or conference rooms or whatever you want to call them, Bible study, Sunday school rooms. You might have the pastor's office where you can meet. The different platforms can stream in different ways, so you can utilize the strengths of those platforms to stream to a specific group of people. Does everything I'm saying kind of track with you, Kevin? Does that all make sense?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would even add that, it's, I think people expect churches to be there on Sunday. And so most churches are. I mean, I know it's taken some, and I know there's some that aren't doing anything, still video and streaming and things like that. And you're getting left behind every week. But I think, by being there when maybe everyone else isn't during the week with a message or popping in, and I also think there's something about just it not looking so polished. And we went from this, and I mean, because I really hope the folks I go to church with aren't watching this. Sorry, but
Kevin does not speak for the people of so and so church. The views represented on this show belong to Kevin and Kevin alone.
Yeah, no way reflect the management or the leadership of the church I won't name. But it's a great church. But there's a pattern. There's still a pattern. It's like, I ended up editing the service for several weeks, and they stopped even sending me the order of the edit because I knew how it was going to be. And and I've heard other people talk about when they're looking at their data just from the Sunday service, sadly when the pastor comes on, that's when they see the drop off, but yet they stay in that pattern of, we're going to welcome people, we'll probably do a couple of songs, we'll do something about generosity, we'll do some announcements, and then we'll do the message, and then we'll say goodbye. And so, just imagine TV shows you watch that there's a format, but how they break things up within the format, or maybe this week they do a different open that gets your attention, or they drop, the animated open about how cool they are. So I guess I'm not surprised that churches that are doing more during the week, even if it looks spontaneous, but it's more planned, but it's just kind of that raw in the moment. I just think it's a better way to reach people, and including non-church folks too, who might be more tempted to, want to hear something positive in their life that obviously, hopefully leads them to Christ, but it's not the typical church service, even though it's been streaming online.
Absolutely. So let's get into some examples. All right, let's talk about the different things you can do, and then we're going to get into some actual examples. I'm going to screen share. We're going to look at some churches. Job in the YouTube chat said he's concerned about the changes coming October 1st. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show, because short story, nothing's really changing for churches. It's something else. So let's talk more about that at the end of the show. Let's talk about some short video examples. First of all, in general, depending on the platform, there could be some minute differences. But in general, a short video, when I'm talking about short videos, I'm talking about 3 to 15 minutes. And even 15 minutes is kind of long. I try to keep our clips from my church around 3 to 7 minutes. I can go up to 10 if I think it's really captivating, a captivating story. But for someone to sit there and drone on about the exposition of a Bible verse, I'll be honest, on social media, it doesn't captivate. It's not. There's not a lot of story there. There may be a lot of truth there, but on social, we have to use the medium to connect with the audience and the way the medium is for. And I'm not seeing a lot of that. So let's talk about some examples of what we can do. First of all, I call this Pastor Do Your Thing. That's what I call it. Okay, Pastor can just go live using Ecamm Live on his or her laptop. Or you could do what we call selfie mode and just go, okay, I'm going to go to Facebook page, YouTube Live. What's going on, everybody? I am just wanted to take a second here because yesterday we preached about what to do if people are jealous of you. And we talked about the story of Daniel. And I just want to reiterate this one thing. And you clarify, you talk about what's on your heart. Kevin, maybe you can second this, but I've never met a pastor that left the stage on Sunday, drove home, and said, you know what? I said everything I wanted to say. I communicated it perfectly. There's nothing else to add. There's nothing else to clarify. No one had any questions. I've never heard a pastor. It's always Monday morning. Oh, I wish I had said that differently. Or I got this question from this one person. I wish there was a way that I could communicate this to the congregation. There is.
I've never met that pastor who's like the athlete or the performer going, I left it all on the stage.
That's right. I'm
it's
done.
Like, man, I just had like 20 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
How about we do another part of it? Yeah, it's always they've always got, which is cool. But it's like you've got the concern.
You've got the concern of someone asking a question after service, and as a pastor, you have to live with who else has that question. Who else is going to go home today more confused because I didn't communicate? Well, now you can go live, sit on your laptop, pull up Ecamm Live, and say, "Hey, church, welcome to Clarity Mondays, right? And let's talk a little bit about your questions from yesterday's service. Should you change anything when people are jealous of you? Let's relook at Daniel and let's really talk about, did he change anything?" And you can talk about that. You can screen share. I would throw in some GIFs in there, funny like you do, you boo, something like that. When you're talking about that. This is my church service, so it's been on my mind all week. So that's something that I call do your thing. Just talk. Just sit down. You know what, guys? I read this verse in Ecclesiastes that talks about there's nothing new under the sun. So all this division that we're talking about, all this crap that we're dealing with social media, guess what, guys? God's gotten us through that once, twice, three times. He's going to get it through us again, right? You can do, I had a thought, went live. It was like, hey, Isaiah 6 says, in the year that King Uzziah died, God was seated on the throne. Well, guess what? In the crazy year of 2020, pandemics and fires and everything else, God is still on the throne. And that right there is why that gets more engagement than a Sunday morning service doing an exegetical study of First John. That doesn't have the same ring as let's talk about the craziness that's come up. So when we talk about in the middle of the week, do your thing. Just go live. What's on your heart? What's a revelation? Go live in prayer. Hey guys, so and so's mom is in the hospital. Join me in prayer. If you have a prayer request to add it in the comments if you're comfortable, and I'll pray for you right here. Other people can join in prayer as well.
Yeah, I would add. I think it actually. We're both church guys, but I think it makes churches seem real. I'm there all the time, and I'm human, and I or even sharing behind the scenes, or sharing like just, hey guys, I know there's some heavy news going on now. Let me give you just a little hope to think about, without ever touching on the political stuff or whatever, but just kind of being there and being a presence. And they may never, ever, when you reopen, come into your doors. But if you're reaching somebody that finds out about God through something you've done off week, that's a win, right?
That is a win. The Nerdy Pastor watching on the Church Media Guys YouTube channel says, totally agree. He leaves every Sunday morning sermon with those thoughts. Being a pastor is having a 24/7 concern and burden. Not that the members are a burden, it's the spiritual walk. Their spiritual walk weighs on the pastor. The Bible says that the pastor is accountable. The shepherd is accountable for the sheep. So, this is a great way to say, man, let me clarify this, or let me add on to this. You just go live and just start talking and do your thing. Something else that I love to see is behind the scenes videos. Show me the stage getting put together for Christmas. Show me the parent. We got Operation Christmas Child coming up. Show me the people packing it and checking the toys and making sure that the boxes are full. Show me if you're doing shoebox drives, or not shoebox, but shoe drives. Kids need shoes. One of my clients does a shoe drive every year. They get thousands of sneakers and they give them to low-income children that haven't gotten shoes since last year's drive. And they are worn out because they're walking to school every day. They're walking to the store. They don't have a car. Those kids are getting worn out shoes. So, show me the shoes that are coming in, how you're tagging them. If you have privacy concerns, don't show the, I'm thinking of end user, but don't show the kids, but show the behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? And along with that, interview people that are serving, show the before and after picture of your Habitat for Humanity collaboration with your church, and then talk to the volunteers. What does it mean to you to build a home for someone who needs it, who lost it in a fire or who lost it or whatever? Show me the interview with the Habitat for Humanity guy that's saying, I'm so glad that this church stepped in because we only had 2 hands. We had 3 days to get this done. And the church brought 7, so we got 10, and we are very excited to finally have this built. Thank you to this church. Give me some interviews. And Ecamm Live makes it easy. You can do it over Skype, but you can also, or the interview feature coming out, or just, say, hey, I'm here with so-and-so, and you just point your phone, and it's just, really super simple, and it doesn't have to be high production. It does not have to be high production.
I don't think we can honestly harp on that enough, because I think it's so easy to get caught up in that. Well, I don't know if I've got the right camera, the right lighting. Sound is actually the most important part of video. But there's those in the moments. I would even add, as the worship leader working on maybe a new song for that week, pull out the guitar and pop it on, or just be talking about it. We actually had one of our worship leaders. He's moved on now with his family, moved to Florida. But, he actually got on The Voice when The Voice did this whole different Snapchat type thing. And so he actually brought people into that journey, which then allowed him to share his story. And that's just a cool way of, allowing others to play with the feed, if you will.
Yeah, 100%. I think you said we can't harp on it enough, so I'm going to try not to. But shout out to, okay, so I want to give a shout out to Seth Muse. He doesn't know I'm doing this, but there's something that I learned from him, and I'm going to share it with you. So credit to Seth Muse. He calls it the dumb interviewer, where you as the pastor, you as the media person could know everything there is to know about VBS, right? You got VBS coming up, but you're going to go live and you're going to play the dumb interviewer. I'm here with Miss Becky. She's running the VBS this month. Miss Becky, tell us exactly what kids can expect. And I got it in self. And then Miss Becky, you just shoot her, or maybe you flip the camera around. Okay, Miss Becky, tell us. That's super simple, and you're playing the dumb interviewer. But people really don't know some of these questions, some of these answers. And we'll get into it in the examples. But this stuff does not have to be very well produced, quote unquote, well produced. As long as you can hear and as long as you can see, people will forgive that bad video for audio. But if you just go to your Instagram live, or go to your Instagram and look at who's live, so many people. I'm gonna imitate it here. So many people are just like this. Hey, what's going on, guys? Cute nose 365 said, hey, where'd you get your haircut? Oh, I got it done at Supercuts. Really good. Ask for Angela. Let's see. Dwight H. 42 said, "What are your thoughts on the latest song by Lecrae? Dude, it's awesome. Gotta listen to the whole album. Sit down, headphones on, and just listen to the album. It's insane." Who's your number one inspiration for this? And they're literally just just like this. Kevin, you know exactly. I saw your face light up. You're like, I know exactly who's running live streams just like that. And if you build that culture, where pastor is just going to go live and he's just going to talk about what's on his mind, he's going to pray, and they know that whenever you ask a question, someone's going to answer. He's going to answer it. You've got a lot on your plate. You've got a lot of potential that you're going to reach, because you're not only going to preach what you think they need to know, you're going to answer what they do need to know, right? And there are things that you can preach that people need to know. People need to know about what the Bible says about love and marriage. People need to know about what the Bible says about disciplining your children. People need to know about what it's like to lead a healthy life in the church, be involved in church and stuff. But when someone's in the middle of a fight with their spouse, or when someone's kid is just tearing things up and not listening and not responding to discipline, they don't need to know about church health at that moment. They need to know how to be a good father or a good mother. And so you can answer that question, and that could end up being the 3 to 10 minutes that you spend on the day. All right, Sarah, I appreciate you sharing that. But, here's I shared kind of what I can on the stream, but there's obviously more to get into. Give the church a call. Let's schedule a time to counsel. And now you've got a counseling session, and now you are, again, shepherding this family because you just sat down with your phone. Yeah. It's just so easy.
Well, and a couple of ideas, too. I mean, we've probably heard before that, stand-up comedians, a lot of the ones that would tour more, they would go out to smaller places and, try out material. Well, so just imagine during the week you're working on some stuff, because I think the mistake is like, well, ooh, something happened. I'll save that for the message on Sunday. Well, what if they don't see it? What if they never come back and watch it? What if they're traveling or whatever? Throw those things out there. Not necessarily you're testing the message, but hey, we're working on this study through Acts and stuff like that, And I was thinking, and you start engaging people, and it's not about looking perfect. It's about reaching people. So that's an idea. Just kind of throw it out there and test some stuff too. Just try it.
It's not about being perfect. It's about reaching people. Put that on a shirt, Kevin. Sell that.
I'm working on it right now.
That's going to be some good stuff. Aaron in the chat on Facebook said, "Man, guys," that's how I'm reading it. "Man, guys, as a pastor, I have been looking for new ways to connect with my congregation during the week. I love it." Thank you, Aaron. We are so glad that you're here. God brought you here. Awesome. Take these ideas. We're going to get into some examples, but Kevin, I think you made a good point, something that made me as well think of to add on to that. If you're just getting started live streaming, like you're doing your worship stream, but you don't know what to do in the middle of the week, I highly suggest you challenge yourself. Go live for 7 days in a row. Do it for at least 90 seconds. do it on your personal profile. You don't have to do it on the church profile. Just get comfortable talking in front of the camera. Get comfortable with the UI. That's the user interface. Where the comments come. How do you swipe through the comments? What's a comfortable way to hold your phone or prop it up? Or maybe you decide I need to get a Gorilla Pod and you order that. Just go live for 7 days in a row. And just do it on your phone. Just say, hey guys, it's Monday. Let me tell you about what I'm doing today. Mondays are a great day. I go and visit our shut-ins. I go to the bank, drop off our deposits from the tithing from yesterday. I do. Maybe don't say that for security reasons, you know. I'm just thinking about what pastors do on Monday. We do after-action reports with the team. I got a meeting with the Yes Ministry. We're working on some new visitor gifts. So if you haven't been to our church for the first time, we want to see you this Sunday. We're going to have brand new gifts for you. I won't tell you what it is, but it's very exciting. And you're just sitting there and it's like, okay, now I got it. You got it on your personal profile. The people on your personal profile, they all want you to do well. And so they're going to encourage you. They're going to cheer you on. Absolutely. My first time, I suggest that because I did it. Okay. Let me back up there. I suggest that because I did it. Sometime in 2018, I was like getting used to the live streaming stuff. And I was like, let me just go live from my phone every day. Kevin, can I share with you what the #1 engaged video?
Yeah.
The title was My Beer with Church Websites. #1 engagement. Thank you, autocorrect. It was supposed to be my beef with church websites, and I was going to talk about some things that I've discovered freelancing that church websites need, and a lot of them don't have. But thanks to the typo, it auto-corrected to My Beer with Church Websites, and everybody came on and was like, what is this guy talking about? Is he going to be drinking on stream? I had no idea till after the stream. But here's the thing. Not only did that give me the most engagement, I had some great conversations in there, but I learned that it's okay to make a mistake because guess what? When the stream is over, I'm already thinking about the next one. Yep. Nobody's haunting me, daunting me, whatever. I mean, it happens, and I lived through it. And now I don't care if I make a mistake. I'm just ready to go. I want to get it done.
Look, as Christians, I think the worst thing we can do, and I've been guilty of this, is that make the world think that we got it all together. Yeah, we're perfect. Well, why would our live streams be any different? I mean, seriously. If I shoot a video, I've got the option of editing out my ums and looking really good, and even color correcting if I want to add a little color to my cheeks. But, there's something about live. And, Justin, I'll share a funny story. So I used to co-host a video podcast show with a buddy of mine. And it was called Two Guys Talking About. We don't do it anymore. And so we decided to do go live from produced to live, second season. So he's in a different city. I dial him up. I don't think we're live. I think we're just testing the feed. And we've been chatting for a few minutes. We're taking selfies, and all of a sudden a comment pops up and goes, "Hey guys, how's it going? And I realize, oh, dang, we've been live for like at least 10 minutes. And you know what? For the longest time, it remained our highest viewed and most engaged with show because the people didn't care. They thought they were in on something. So,
yes.
I love the dog sounds too, bud.
Yeah, they agree. That's their amen.
Yeah. So
it's not the Amazon guy that just dropped off a package.
If you're live streaming and it messes up, it messes up. If you forget your point, roll with it. Because if anything, we need to show the world that, we don't have it all together. We screw up. We make mistakes. We can roll with it because obviously we've got a bigger forgiveness, but they can tap into that too. So it just kind of get over yourself.
Someone I don't remember who said it, but someone a long time ago in one of our chats said we don't become a pastor to stay comfortable. And this is just one of those ways that 2020 is making us uncomfortable. I remember I'm not a pastor, but I've been in ministry. And I remember my first hospital visit. I was nervous and anxious as all get out. But it was a great experience. And after that, I kind of learned the ins and outs of what that looks like. And I can do that now if I have to. And just as with live streaming, you do it once, you do it a few times. That's why I say commit to 7 days. Commit to it at a certain time for a certain length, at least 90 seconds, you will get more comfortable with it. It'll just get that much more easier. And then again, once you develop the church culture of pastor goes live on Wednesdays, I don't have to wait till Sunday to see him and then try to flag him down. I know he's going to go live, so I can ask him a question. Hey, pastor, tell me about this. What are you teaching about this? And that's what people want. So often in churches, we think about, and I do believe it's part of the pastor's job to think about what the congregation needs to hear and deliver that into a sermon. But oftentimes too, they're ready to tell us what they want. One of the most successful sermon series I've ever done, and again, done being on the creative team of it, not preaching it, but one of the most successful sermon series we've ever done as a church was, we called it Mythbusters. We did it over the summer. We knew summer attendance was going to be low, and so we wanted to be a little bit more experimental. So we set up an anonymous Google text account. I don't remember what it's called. It's Google Voice, but we accepted texts and anonymized the text and then sent it to our office. And we said, text this number, your number one question about Christianity, the Bible, Jesus, whatever else. We got questions that weren't even on our radar. We got questions about spousal abuse. We got questions about doubt. We got questions about how far is too far in child punishment. All these things that people would only ask because they were anonymatized. And we preached a series, and our attendance that summer was the highest it's ever been because people wanted to know these questions that they were asking. These were personal questions that didn't have to do with things that were exegetically based, but rather topical. And it was a huge deal for our church. And you could do that every week. And maybe you have to work to do the anonymity thing, but people want to know things and they can ask you, and you could do stuff throughout the week. And even if it's, our people need to know about this one topic, it's not really great. It's not big enough of a topic to do on Sunday mornings, or it doesn't fit within our Sunday morning structure. You can 100% do that in the middle of the week with your live stream. I'm going to get into some examples. I'm going to screen share and do some examples. Kevin, I think this is your out time. So tell people, if they want to see more about you, learn more about you, where can they find you?
So my YouTube channel is Kevin Colby. I'd love to have you on there. Kind of my mission is helping people, share their gifts and make an impact in the world with video marketing. So if I can help you, that's fine. KevinColby.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Kevin Colby Media. But love to connect with more folks, and if I can help you, let me know. And I love my church guys.
Thanks for being here, Kevin. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me. See you guys. Bye.
All right. Give me just a second here. I'm going to end our Skype conversation, and then I'm going to share my screen so you can see some examples. So I'm going to pull up an example. And I'm going to pull up this example first of a church. This video is actually 3 years old that I'm going to show you first. And that is, I think, a testament to how memorable these videos can be. So 3 years ago in Central Texas, where I used to live, there was a weather event. I cannot remember because I wasn't living there. I think it was a flooding or it was a tropical storm that came too far inland. I can't remember what it was. Might have been a tornado. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But this church started collecting donations, and I mean within a day or two, you're seeing they got a fully fledged donation center. And this is my buddy John, and he went live as the church, and I want you to see this. So I'm going to share my screen, and you should have audio. Let me share Chrome, and I'm going to go into it a little bit. And I'm doing all this with Ecamm, super easy, super simple. So here we go.
Okay, some of y'all are asking, here's the quick update on where we are. This community is awesome. It is so awesome that we are totally full. So when shelters are coming in, it's getting hard to make room to be able to get them in and make space. It's getting harder to follow up with everybody. So our strategy is shifting, and we are getting very efficient in the way we are storing, and that way we're going to focus solely on...
Okay, so he is just doing a quick introduction. I'm going to try to get some picture-in-picture here. Let me get... Can I get my picture here? There we go. Okay. Nope, that's not it. No, maybe not. Okay. Should have figured that out before the show. So we got my friend John here, and he's not even the pastor. So I want you to understand that. He's not even the pastor. He's the media guy, guest guy. I can't remember exactly what he was. And he just goes live on the church page and he say, we got the donation center set up. I'm going to skip forward here a little bit, and you can see him walk around and show all the donations that are coming through the church.
We're going to be taking those to the shelters twice a day for snacks. We're also building new snack bags that we're going to be taking to shelters to support about 1,000 evacuees several times a day. The sorting operation is still ongoing, as it has been for 4 or 5 days straight, whatever we started.
So you see how he's just, in fact, I'll just mute his channel while I talk. So you see how he's just walking around and he's just narrating everything that's happening. Okay, there is choppy video. That is just because of the screen share. The actual video is smooth. It just is choppy because I'm live streaming a screen share. Okay, he's got the people in it. He's got the team in there. He's shouting out, Walmart showed up. You can listen to this.
Looking at the real Walmart, they've started their own Walmart right here.
So you can see him just shouting people out. You can see him having fun. None of this was scripted. The people are getting involved. He's just narrating everything that's happening, and it's super simple, super easy. So this is what I mean when I say go behind the scenes, right? Now, obviously, this is a large church, one of the largest in the area. So they have a lot of resources. But if you are a smaller church and you're doing something like Operation Christmas Child, you probably still have a stage lined with boxes. You could stack those boxes next to you. And so it's you're not like manipulating how it looks in quantity, but you're saying these are the boxes. 150 people gave 75 boxes to Operation Christmas Child. That's 75 gifts for children in Haiti or Africa or the Middle East or whatever. This is something where you can show behind the scenes. This is how we're packing boxes. Operation Christmas Child's on my head because Christmas is coming up. That's one of my favorite ministries. And so you can see the people that are doing things in the background. You can see the people things that are happening. So that's what I mean by like go behind the scenes. I'll do another one here. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm going to go to my former church, and this is actually after I left the church. We had kind of set up, like I talked about, building that culture of streaming. This is actually something they did after I left. So again, I tried, and it's not only on me, but I wanted to build up this culture of live streaming. And check this out. I'm going to share my screen here. This was my former church. All right. So this is a community event, and just listen to this. Oh, I forgot to unmute the video, so you can hear it now.
We got some mango. Come on by. Ooh, rainbow.
Okay, so while this is going, this was during COVID, and the snow cone truck came, and the church is in partnership with the snow cone place, is handing out free snow cones to the neighbors. Okay, and again, she's just walking around. And she is just saying, hey, walk around here. This is where you get your snow cone. They're doing a blessing bag.
And then you can stop and take a photo.
Got a little socially distant photo opportunity here.
And then you come over here and you pray with Mr. Sailors and Mr. Everett.
And you got that going on. So you got the prayer station. So this is during the event, it's just a walkthrough of what to expect. It's what's happening. It's behind the scenes. This is something that you can easily do. Just grab and pause and come back to me. Just grab your phone, go live, and just start talking about what's happening, what's going on behind the scenes. This one is such low-hanging fruit because everything's already happening. All you have to do is point your camera at it. And for most of us, all you have to do is point your phone at it. I also want to point out that this video was taken by a volunteer. It was a young college girl that took over the social media after I left, and she's just, hey, come show whatever. It doesn't have to be the pastor. It doesn't have to be even a minister or someone of leadership. This is a girl who's volunteering her time to help out the church on their social platform, and I think that is just great. That is a fantastic thing. So all you have to do is just go live with your phone and do that. So I'm going to get into some other examples of what we called earlier in the show, Pastor, do your thing. Okay, so take a look at this. Some of these are more produced than others. This one is more produced. So let me go to my screen here. Unmute it this time. Okay. This is from our Church Media Hacks group. Someone submitted this as something they do in addition to Sunday morning worship. So they have Word Wednesday, and they are running it through something like Ecamm or a streaming software like OBS or vMix. I'm going to skip forward here.
But anyway, it's an interesting thought.
Come on.
Like
I love it. We're getting started. We're getting going already. So good to see everybody joining us. We've got 7 people on Facebook. What's up,
So
everybody?
this is a partnership. This is a duo.
Well,
We
I'm
like
getting
to
my
see this. You've
commentary
got
here.
the pastor there who's
Grant
ready
Lynn
to
joins us.
present,
Grant Brewer, you're always
and
on
you've
Word
got
Wednesday.
a
We're getting
host
through
or an
everything
MC
live. We have
that
to get
is just
guys
kind of
on
running the
Word Wednesday,
online
always
stuff. So
joining
he's
in.
probably
Always
going to pass on comments, pass on things, make sure the live stream's going good, make sure it looks good for everyone. And he's going to kind of MC. So the pastor can focus on teaching, can focus on the message, and he kind of focuses on the engagement and all that. It's a really good thing to do if you've got the manpower.
How many people really are?
We're going to skip ahead to the teaching here.
a life group leader, and that
What do they needed to do? They needed to get him back. What did he do? He cut everything that was unessential.
yeah.
And it happens in families. Dads take huge amounts of.
So we've got a little bit more of a higher produced show here, but it is midweek. It's not worship. There's no band. There's no pulpit. It's the pastor drinking some coffee, or whoever this might be, but I think it's the pastor, drinking coffee and just having a conversation, and they're live streaming it, okay? The behind-the-scenes videos I showed you, that first one of the donation, had about 25,000 views, right? They're not getting 25,000 views on a normal Sunday. This church here, this one has got 35 comments, 100 views. This is a week old. I don't know what their numbers are on a normal Sunday, but imagine just having triple-digit people watch you talk and have a conversation about the Bible, what it says, what it means, all that good stuff. Let me go to another example here. I've got several, and I'm going to move a little bit quick just so you can see some diversity here. This one is another example of the two-person thing. So this is a midweek update. I'll back it out so it looks better.
Be here with you.
So you can see that it's another conversation. Let me unmute it here.
It was a great message. It was a great Sunday just all around. We rolled out some new stuff. Finally got our official.
And this one is not as tech savvy as the last one, but you can see they do have two mics. They've got a camera. They might have multiple views. I haven't fast forwarded yet, but it's just two people having a conversation, talking about what's going on at the church. Okay. And you see this one is, again, triple digit views, 38 comments. This could be really good for the church to just do a midweek update for people to catch up on what's going on and how to get involved and what to pray for. I'm going to skip forward here and we'll listen to a little bit more.
So, we'll be heading into week 2 of Jonah. What are we covering this week? You're back up this week. What are you preaching on?
So it's very raw, right? It's very raw, talking to each other, having a conversation, but they're streaming it. And so this is a little bit behind the scenes. It's not another message. It's more behind the scenes stuff of what's going on at the church. I think that is super helpful, super resourceful for them to try and have that done. I'm going to show you one more here, maybe two more, because I don't know if I want to leave it on this one. But look at this one.
Well, hello and welcome to our time of evening prayer and devotion. I'm the Reverend Kay Hart. And
This one is the audio is a little quiet. It could use some tinkering, right? No fancy stage, no microphone, no camera. But if you look over here, we've got 19 comments, 180 views. Or excuse me, 880 views. Because you are connecting with people. You are live streaming in the middle of the week, giving an update. In this case, it's a prayer and devotional from the Reverend. I think she said she can't go inside, so she's doing it outside. But this is a great example of just getting your camera and just going live. Okay, start, and then they can iterate. She can buy a lapel microphone. They can buy a better camera. They can turn the laptop around. Once the restrictions ease up, because this is in April, she can go back inside. But this got people engaged. People were hurting for a message in the middle of the week, and she gives a quick devotional. And it's nothing fancy, but people want to hear it because people care about the content, okay? And they can hear her just well enough that they can do that. And if I fast forward here, you can see, the white balance changes. Maybe cloud covers the sky. I'm not sure what's going on. She's even just doing some reading from the devotional. But people care about this. People want to watch this. People want to be fed just like this. So this is very raw, but it's very helpful for people. Very helpful. I'm going to do one more here from, again, my last church, and I love this. I love when Pastor David does this. One more example. This is, again, Pastor, do your thing. And this is exactly what I wasn't talking about with this in mind, but this is exactly what I was talking about. Let me share screen here. So we've got Pastor going live from his office.
Good morning, everyone. This is David Alexander, pastor at First Baptist Edinburgh. Here recently in the news and the papers and stuff, people have been tossing around this word faith. He's a person of faith, or they're people of faith, or I'm a person of faith.
And so you see that this is what I'm talking about. There's not great lighting. The audio is a little iffy. I mean, it's clear enough. But he's in his office and he's just broadcasting, right? And 195 views, 3 comments, 15 likes. I don't see any shares, but this is something that the church wanted to hear. It was relevant. It was topical. It was a message he felt to share that perhaps didn't work with a Sunday morning message. And it's a great length. It's 7 minutes, and I'm going to skip forward here and we'll listen to a little bit more just to see what he's hearing about.
From faith for faith, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. In other words, we grow in our faith as we obey it, as we exercise it, as we see that it's true and it's placed in the right person, and that helps to grow.
And so you see him just preaching, teaching in his office, sharing a message, sharing a word for 7 minutes. That's it. That's it. And people are engaging. People want to see this. And a 7-minute video is much more easily digested than a 40-minute sermon or even a 20-minute sermon. So those are some ideas that I think you can do to enhance what you're doing throughout the week, get people more engaged with your church throughout the week. You could post stuff like, hey, coming this Sunday, this is what we're going to talk about. And people don't care about a sermon graphic, or you might make a graphic that gives a verse on it, but it doesn't impact as well as a spoken word from someone in your church, the pastor, the youth pastor, just someone who's leading the youth team. Anyone can share something and to enhance your live streams in the middle of the week. So that's some encouragement. Tommy said he wants to see an example. Tommy, there are several examples. Live streaming does not have to just happen on Sundays. It can happen any day of the week, and you will be surprised. Take up this challenge. See just how many more people engage with you in the middle of the week than they do on a Sunday morning. I think you'll be surprised, and I think you'll realize that a lot of our time and attention while on Sunday is good, and I'm not saying nix it, but I'm saying that we may want to go ahead and spend some more time looking at what we can do in the middle of the week to encourage people, to talk with people, to connect with people, to get them connecting more and plugged in with your church a little bit more, because they will warm up to you in those midweek live streams to make a visit, to message with you, to schedule a counseling session, anything like that. So that is live streaming for churches beyond Sunday. You will see a lot of engagement. You may have to develop a little bit of a culture there, but go behind the scenes. Pastor, do your thing. Interview people, give announcements, give updates, do prayer stuff. It doesn't have to look good, but take everything that we've learned, execute it. I challenge you. 7 days, go live on your personal page and see what happens. Let me know what happens. Take everything you've learned and go change lives.